As a humid August descends on Windsor, the gardens around Adelaide Cottage are heavy with the scents of rose and rain, a lush backdrop masking a house in slow transition. For years, this modest home has offered the Wales family a rare pocket of normalcy. Its old stones and wild hedges have absorbed the voices of children learning to ride bikes, the warmth of late-night kitchen tea, and the steady, sorrow-touched laughter of Princess Catherine and Prince William as they tried to grant their 3 children the kind of ordinary golden days so rarely afforded to heirs of the throne. But now, the rhythm of this life is fracturing. Prince George, barely out of childhood, but already tall and circumspect, is preparing for his final year at Lamrook alongside Charlotte and Louis, a last oasis before tradition's gravity pulls him toward Eton. Every corner of the cottage seems imbued with quiet dread. Rooms that once rang with George's shouts stand silent as the family reckons with the fate that waits just beyond the garden gate. Invisible battles, Catherine's private nightmare. The tabloids prattle on about royal routine, but inside Adelaide Cottage, insomnia and dread slip silently from room to room. Catherine finds herself haunted by memories, the featherlight weight of George as an infant, the fierce ache of leaving him at nursery for the first time, the long hours battling her own illness under relentless cameras. She sits up late, writing page after page in a private journal, each one a litany of longing and resistance. How do you let go of a child so young, who must answer to a crown he did not choose? She asks the empty room, her words kept secret even from William. Her dreams are peppered with echoes from her own past, laughter at Marlborough College, the pang of homesickness and the pressure of expectation, the knowledge that she, too, was chosen and shaped by destiny. Catherine obsesses over the smallest details, George's unfinished homework, his favorite shirt left by the laundry, a smile fading too soon as he reads old books about kings condemned to duties far harsher than any exam. She consults doctors, counselors, and loyal friends. Everyone offers advice, but none can dispel her most overwhelming fear, that sending her son away, at such a fragile age, will sever the tender threads she has fought so hard to maintain. William, between father and future king. For William, every day seems to crackle with the repetition of history. He remembers the cold echo of Eton's stone corridors, the burden of royal destiny pressed silently into teenage shoulders, and the untold pain of growing up under a relentless public eye. Yet he rationalizes, often out loud, our family survives by keeping history alive, but history has a way of wounding us, too. Every evening, after the children have drifted to sleep, he and Catherine sit in the garden, debating, sometimes arguing, always circling the same question: is tradition a vessel of stability, or merely an old wound repeatedly reopened for the sake of spectacle? Their private discussions have grown more tense as the fateful September date approaches. William wants to shield George, but he also fears that bending the rules for his son would only invite harsher scrutiny, and worse, would leave George unready for the role that awaits him. William is tormented by the memory of his mother, Princess Diana, who tried so hard to break tradition for her boys, only to find herself broken by it instead. The children, Charlotte and Louis, feel the shadow. Charlotte, ever perceptive, senses the looming dread. She clings to her older brother, devising little games and competitions, determined to squeeze as much laughter as possible from these final weeks. Her tennis lessons, usually a private delight, become open invitations to George, one last effort to keep the trio united. Louis, too young to grasp the true import, nevertheless feels the shift. He asks, why does George have to leave? The silence that answers him is more wrenching than any explanation. Palace intrigue, pressure from without and within. Beyond the cottage, the machinery of monarchy clanks into motion, ancient, unsparing. Advisers pore over precedent, press officers prepare statements that will extol the virtues of royal tradition. Some aides, more progressive, secretly hope William and Catherine will break the cycle, keeping George close, but their voices are drowned out by older courtiers warning that the people want reassurance, not innovation. Charles, recovering in dignified seclusion, is both too ill and too brittle to intervene. He offers vague words of support during family calls, leaving decisions to William, but making clear the importance of continuity. The Queen Consort, herself battered by recent health woes, checks in on Catherine, their relationship gentled by mutual respect and the knowledge of private wars waged outside the public eye. Rumours leak that Parliament itself is quietly watching how the heir is raised. Some MPs, sympathetic to the pain of separation, push for a modernisation of royal education policy, while others threaten censure if the future king deviates from the path that made Britain the envy of monarchies. Britain's divided heart, public response. As news seeps into the public domain, the country's reaction is fierce and divided. Editorialists pen fierce missives. Some defend the Wales's dilemma, calling for compassion, others accuse the royal couple of coddling or softness, counseling that resilience is forged in adversity. Talk radio and social media pulse with debate. Let George stay trending alongside royal responsibility. For every parent who identifies with Catherine's agony, another insists that duty must come first. Even the press grows reflective. Long-form features recount the traumas of other royal children, Edward VIII's emotional distance, Margaret's loneliness, Diana and Charles's own childhood wounds. Letters pour into the palace. Some are scathing, some loving, many simply begging the family not to trade one kind of pain for another. George's inward journey, the future king's troubled heart. As the final days slip away, George becomes ever more introspective. He journals, sketches, and reads by torchlight, his maturity laced with melancholy. He leans on Charlotte and Louis, but occasionally slips outside, staring at the night sky over Windsor's ancient canopy. In soft moments, he confides in Catherine, "Mum, will the world always watch us?" She answers gently, "Yes, darling, but remember, it's what you do behind closed doors that will define who you truly are." The final farewell, a family ritual. On the eve of his departure, the family gathers for a private picnic beneath the biggest oak. They share memories, tears, and promises, their dog racing around the table while the children coax smiles from sorrowful hearts. William toasts George, not as a prince, but as our son, who we love and trust. Catherine, voice trembling, gives him a small silver key, her own from Marlborough, for when you want to come home, or let yourself out of any room, royal or not. That night, the stories, the laughter, and the night air mingle into an aching, perfect memory, a cocoon to shield them all from tomorrow. Epilogue, the path ahead, a Britain waiting. As George departs for Eton, the world holds its breath. Catherine walks the echoing halls of Adelaide Cottage, each step a prayer. William paces the garden, dear to his childhood, but now heavy with expectation. The monarchy, caught between duty and empathy, stands at its own crossroads, facing a modern world that expects both tradition and change. We ask you, dear viewers, what would you wish for George, for Catherine, for the heart of the nation? Should the monarchy bend, or endure? And does love, maternal, human, flawed, have power to change the oldest crown in Europe? Share your hopes, your stories, your advice in the comments below. Like and subscribe, as the story of the Wales family, and of Britain, unfolds in all its heartache, courage, and fragile hope. Stay with us, because in these quiet family choices, the fate of a nation is being written.